What's good, you guys? It's your boy Jay Freshman back with another tutorial. Well, continuing from the previous tutorial, how to level your mix. And if you haven't seen that, make sure you watch that one first. And the link to that is going to be in the description below. So check that out first. And then now we're going to move on to the next part. If like in the first video, I announced that I do this process that Busy Work taught me, which is the ABC process: amplitude, balance, and then clarity. So now amplitude being, leveling out the volumes. Balance is more of stereo separation and panning. So I did a little panning in the previous video, but now I want to just do some stereo separations. And may I remind you that I don't have a lot of tracks, so you don't have to apply this to every sound. Everything is all about context. So we just gonna solo the melody real quick and just listen to our sound. As you can see to the right, I have my isotope imager up, and I'm gonna show you what's going on. This is my favorite plugin for imaging because you get to see it visually of everything that's just going on. So let's solo the mids. Let's solo the low end. So this is the main thing. When you have more sounds, this is only one melody. So just imagine you have all these other stereo sounds in your mix. If your bass is like this, still has stereo in the bass, and stereo in the bass muddies up your mix, as you could just to put it in a simple way, because it's like now you hearing a lot of bass frequencies in the left and the right, and it just clutters up your mix, especially when you have your actual bass and your actual drums that has the low end that you want to stick out more. So like I said, mixing is not hard. There's no set rules. It's all about the context and your preference. So just to exaggerate this, I'm gonna show you what is. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up the stereo now. I don't know why this shit. Okay, there you go. I thought it was already clicked. So some of you guys sounds is like this is your low end and like your piano. This shit is going wow. So you want to put all your low end sounds in mono. Even if you cutting out your low end in your on an EQ, like that still doesn't. You're cutting out some of it. You're not even cutting out all of it, and the some of it that's still there still has that stereo bass in it. So this is why I like this plugin a lot. And honestly, this is all I want to do. Now in context, what I like to do in context, I don't like to just play the beat like this. Hold on. Turn back on the sounds. I don't like to just work like that. I like to start from like either 2 bars back or 1 bar back going in, because like I said, it's kind of like I had this analogy in my head of how it is. Let me see if I can remember real quick. Damn, it was a good analogy too, but pretty much is like, okay, it's kind of like when it comes to mixing and you have your you're just okay, now I got it. So when it comes to like mixing and you're just like EQing every sound individually, and then when you put the whole beat together, it just sounds kind of weird, like it doesn't fit because you didn't do it into context going into the next phases of the song. So like if I can make everything sound good just like right here, but then how is it going to sound when it goes in? So that's how I like to do my context. So I'm gonna use this imager to spread out some of the melodies. Bring up the stereo image. See, the mids make it feel more like it's surrounding you. So I like how that made me feel. Like I said, everything is about context. So I want to start from before it goes into the drums, and then see. See some highs. I ain't really doing much. mids only bring up like some crisp type of feel. It ain't even that important. So pretty much, so I took care of the low end in the melody. Make sure it was in mono. Now, a thing you could do is group your drums together and compress it, because the thing about the reason why you want to compress have a drum bus is because it could sound like it's knocking, but you don't know when it's really knocking until you put that compressor on. Like, you could think that it's knocking because, you know, your room setup and the reflections and all that shit, all that plays a big part. So, you know, people say, oh, you gotta learn how to mix by ear. Nah, man, you gotta know how to mix by ear and sight, because your room can trick you. So you need to have like some logic and ways to get around certain things. So where is this? I'm trying to use this native. There you go. And I don't get too crazy. Sometimes I just use a preset in one of the compressors, man. You don't have to like get crazy, man. So I think this compressor is good, but what you want to do, this is part of gain staging. Gain staging is its own thing. Like, I will have to go over that in another later video. But gain staging is very important. And what I mean for this context right here is like, so the compressor, it made it louder. Now, you thinking just because it's louder that it made the mix better, but you can't really judge it like that. I have to bring it back to the level that it was originally at using the output gain. And so let me bring that shit back. Hold on. Let me see where it originally was. Take it off. All right, so it's hitting about 9 dB. I might do it. You see how it goes from 9 and then it goes to 6? See, this is why I said when you have logic on your end, then you could just make sense of things. And, you know, logic only comes through learning. So me personally, seeing it jump from the 9 to the 6 like that, you know, I want it to be a linear thing. So I'm going to definitely put a limiter on it so it don't jump like that. And you can see visually what's going on. You see when it got to that point, it is picked up. And it was really just that point, you know, or that other part. So let's put the limiter above the dynamic. So now that I got it level correctly, now I could do A/B test. A/B. I'm thinking of Airbnb and shit. A/B test. So with it off, going in. And then with it on. Close your eyes so you can get a better visual. It definitely hits harder with the compressor on it. So, you know, and I ain't had to do much. Like, that shit sound good like that. You feel me? I ain't had to learn too much about compressor. Like, this is why presets are presets, man. A lot of you guys feel like you gotta. I mean, I encourage you guys to learn shit, and then. Because the more you learn, you know, you could just get more creative. But if you're a beginner, use presets, man. Don't feel ashamed to use presets, especially when you're just getting into things. Because as you can see, they have a vocal preset, kick preset. And then, you know, do the gain staging. Make sure you balance it with the original volume set, and then do an A/B test to it and see which one sounds better. Everything is just all about what sounds good, bro. So you got that linked up. 808s, let's check what's going on with that. I want to hear more of the bass, so I'll probably add like a distortion. I'm just gonna go with a fruity fast distortion. See how this sounds. Hell yeah. So I'm playing with the knob, kind of like a wet and dry knob. I'm trying to see how much distortion I really want. It could be rumbling like that, but you just gotta know your environment, because I know if I go all the way up, yeah, it sounds good in these headphones, but not everyone has, and majority of people that are listeners to music, they don't have an Audio Technica headphones that I'm using. So I know my Audio Technica is going to emphasize a lot different on other platforms, and that's the main thing. Like, you got to understand that, yeah, you know, you did your highs and you did all these kind of adjustments with the EQ or whatever you're using. But remember, that only applies to the system that you're listening to it on. So everything is all about context, like I keep saying, because with that said, I know that the distortion could be too overpowering on other systems. So I'm just, wind it back. So pretty much, this is really everything is balance wise with the volume. Everything is balanced volume wise. Everything is balanced with stereo separation and the panning. So the next one I'll be getting into is going to be clarity. And clarity is just like, or it could be clarity or it could be creative. Creative meaning like put in like a delay on the snare, put in a reverb on the hi-hats, all that, creative shit. Clarity was more of the EQ thing, but I did that throughout the part 1, and I did it in some of this video. So, well, actually, I don't think I did any EQ in this video. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, and then I'm gonna make the other finished part, which is gonna be the creative side, and then probably do a master video after that. And there you go. So thanks for everybody that's watching. Share with your friends, share with your producer friends, if you found this helpful. Thank you. Have a nice day.